Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
My bite's not going to my bark, buddy. And slid down so we can see a red suitcase right here for law enforcement if they're watching and you guys would like to come back here. Of her being out here. So this is what we're doing today. We will see you guys back here real soon.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning, my beautiful people of YouTube and Twitter. We are including Twitter on this Manic Monday, the Manic Monday episode of the Bullhorn Betty channel, right? So good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you. It's me, Jen. Good morning, Joy, TL, Cool Gamer, GG for Life, Net L, Southern Granmy Wolf. Nice to have you, Sonia. As you see, I provided you another little always thinking of my mods. Reggie, be good. It's nice to see you. Skittles, Crime, Podcast, good morning. Did I say good morning to you, Mama Llama? I feel like I did, but I can't remember. What is it called? Alzheimer's. Bullhorn Betty has Alzheimer's. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Good morning, Joy. Who else do we have up in the house this morning? Tip it back. Good morning, MJ. It's nice to see you all in the house. JB's mama, Hash Brown. Oh, Hash Brown. It's nice to see you, love. Nice to see you. So we've got a lot of stuff I'm just going to go through. I think we got just about, I know there's a lot of people in here. If I missed you, good morning. It's nice to see everyone. We have a lot to go over, as you guys can imagine. We're doing basically a tour of updates on some cases that we've been covering for some time. Some that kind of got away from us because things just slow down. Oh, is it Joni? Good morning, Joni. It's nice to have you here. Good morning. Good morning. And so we are just going to revisit a few things. But before we get started, I haven't seen you for a few days. So I received this absolutely funny, hilarious. This is for notifications. Okay, guys, we'll be getting on to the show in just a second. This is the notifications portion of our show. So I received fan mail and it says, Betty, congratulations on behalf of all of us loyal coffee club fans. We nominate you captain of the BHB tinfoil hat squad. We're proudly, P.S. We love having fun in the chat. This is from the real me too. All right, here you go. The official tinfoil hat squad. And it's not going to come without the official tinfoil hat. There we go. The Gilgo Beach case put us on the map. And now we're part of the tinfoil hat squad. Congratulations, Coffee Club. Congratulations, Coffee Club. So I have to tell you, this couldn't have come at a more perfect time. This is what came first. The tinfoil hats. I pull them out of the bag, okay? I'm not lying. Guidance was here. And so I go out to the mail and I pull out this package and I'm like, what did I order? Like, I don't remember what I ordered, right? So I'm like, open it up, and we start pulling out these packages of this and packages. Like, this is all folded up, nice, neat, flat, in a clear package. And I'm like, I didn't order this. Like, and guys, you gotta forgive me because I order online. I don't pay attention if it's coming from China. For example, I got some lights for my nightstands, matching set, but they have the plugs on the actual lights, and I like that. So you're not having to hunt for plugs, And so I bought these lights. Well, I bought them I didn't realize I was ordering them from China. So I've lost track. I forgot I even ordered these lights. And then just one day they show up and I'm like, what the heck is this box? I open it up. I'm like, I remember ordering these. I don't know what to say. I remember ordering them. I do remember ordering them. Yeah. Yep. It drives me nuts. But that's our that is our notification on the tinfoil hats. As we prepare for Christmas, we need some really cheap ideas for Christmas, and our very own made me chuckle. Okay, I got to be honest, this made me chuckle. Let me see if I can blow this up. There we go. So if you guys need gag gifts, if you guys just want a fun gift, if you're just a funny person and you love doing stuff like this, there is a $5 roll, but this stuff is hilarious. Baby, it stinks in here, right? Baby, it stinks. Sprinkles are for cookies, not for toilet seats, right? This cracked me up. I have to be honest. This cracked me up. So there is a pin at the top of the chat. If you guys want to go there, support Sonia. She's got some really cute stuff. And hey, guys, you know what is the best part about this? Do you guys have a design? Do you want a personalized shirt? You could probably talk to Sonia and get, if you want personalized shirts for, say, or personalized mugs or a personalized hat for your loved one for Christmas. Guys, get a hold of Sonia. She does that stuff. That's what she does. That's what she does. So also in Sonia Camp, you guys remember we played a beautiful video. You know how I feel about Leila Santanello. I'm going to go ahead and play the, actually, you know what? I'm not going to play this again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, and oh, that's right. That's what's tagged at the top. Not this. Let me put this website in here. Well, I'll let you deal with it. If you guys want to get from Sonia, get with Sonia. I don't want to throw all of her information. If Sonia, if you want to throw your information in the chat, please do so. For people to get a hold of you or go to your site, whatever, go ahead and do that. I'm going to throw, and then at the top is this video right here. And I'd like everybody, we've already played this for Leila. It's a beautiful, beautiful video. And I'd really like you guys to go over to Sonia's YouTube and like this. She worked very hard on it, and it's very beautiful. With that being said, there's one message, and then we'll get on to everything else.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Santanello, mother of 21-year-old missing mother, Leila Santanello. I just got home from the gym, and there was a notification on my phone. A couple of weeks ago, I was notified that some remains had been found a county over from mine. The remains were really old, and I was told that it was incredibly unlikely that they were the remains of my daughter. And
turn up the volume. Okay.
I was hopeful that they were right. Notification. Nate David Wayne is from Georgia, and he was reported missing 7 years ago. His family had to wait 7 years before they found him. And that scares me because I'm not sure I'll make 7 years. I'm not sure I'll make it that long. I'm barely getting through the fact that the season has changed. Summer ended a long time ago. And I want to freeze time. I don't want to keep going without her. To David's family, I hope you found your closure. And I'm sorry for your loss. Hi.
I can't imagine how hard. Good Lord, that must be. It's hard. it's really hard, even my mods, my beautiful mods, we're talking in the back chat about, possible ways of helping and what we can do and stuff like that, and some research items that we probably need to focus on and stuff. And and we're talking about how we get wrapped up in these cases, and it's kind of hard because we dive so heavily deep in some of these cases that it's almost like we get to know these people, that they almost, even though they're deceased, they're almost a friend. Like we get to know them so well that it's like, we understand them a little bit, right? It's almost like a loss of a friend in some of these cases, just because we know so much about them. And I think that that's where it's hard. And not only that, but there's many people in my, I can't imagine either, Hash Brown. I really can't. It's sad. It's hard. It's hard for your heart not to hurt, right? For these parents. And there's people in our chat that have lost people. They identify this pain, and it's something that many of us don't. And thank God for that. Thank God for that. But we still have empathy and sympathy for the people that go through this, and we want to do everything we possibly can to help and try to take some of that pain or burden off these people, knowing that will never happen. But it's one of those things that even though we know it's not going to happen, we still try, and we still try hard. So, it's hard. It's hard to watch this. It's hard to watch Jen, because you got to remember, we've learned about who Jen is too. Like, I've been in her home. I've spoken to her. I've hugged her. It's hard not to, have emotion. It's the idea that you can just do these things and be emotionless is ridiculous. I mean, it's hard. It's a very hard, it's very hard to learn, and I don't think I'll ever learn it. I really don't. I really don't think I will be the one that ever learns that, because I just don't understand how you can't, how you just can sit by and see somebody hurt and not try to help, So getting on to the next case, let me get all my notes up. I decided to go through everything. So Matthew Perry, we all know, and many of us are of the age, maybe the younger folks that might be in this chat may not be, but you know him from other movies or TV series. Matthew Perry came to all of us as this fun-loving, bubbly guy in Friends, known as Chandler. And him and Monica snuck around, and it was this big, ordeal. And it was just a really good sitcom that many people just actually planned. Like, they planned their week around Friends. Like, all these people, from Jennifer Aniston, even to what is the Fox chick, all of the characters in Friends ended up going on and doing amazing things. Even Joey, I have to be honest with you, I love Joey. I love Joey in Friends, but he seemed to be the one that was always never quite competed with the other four. But even like, David Schwimmer, they all really got their break from the whole 9 yards, the 9.5 yards too. Don't forget that, Donna. That was, those were pretty good. But the whole 9 yards, I love that. I could really watch that movie almost daily. I love that movie so much. Just how terrified he was, and how he was just scared of his own shadow. It was a different side of him. We all know that he struggled, with alcohol, with drugs, with a whole host of things, and this really does shine a spotlight on the grips of addiction and how it doesn't discriminate. And, somebody can seemingly be putting their life back together and could literally, just like that, have a fall. And, that person may or may not have a recovery left in them. We don't know if that's the case. From everything that I have been reading, TMZ came out with an article. They said that he was in his jacuzzi. I thought this was pretty good from JS for Justice. I'm not going to play it for you guys, but I do want you guys to go watch it because it's only about a few minute movie, a little clip that JS for Justice did. But I thought it was really impactful because it shows Matthew Perry, days before his death. And we talked to, not we, other people had talked to, like, say, his pickleball, one of his pickleball coaches. And they talked about how he was seemed to be doing really, really well. And I just was thinking, is this something that happened? Because, from what I hear, the jacuzzi that he has, like a jacuzzi type tub in his house, and then he has this really luxury jacuzzi outside. If I understood correctly, do your own research. I have to put that out there. It's insignificant details because they didn't really identify where in the house he was at. So either outside on his porch patio, in his jacuzzi near the pool, or in his home and in his bathroom. Either way, they went out of their way to make sure everybody knew that there were no drugs or alcohol within his in the area. That law enforcement told them that there was no drugs or alcohol. I don't know why they went out of their way, but I kind of do, because I think that would really be one of the first questions that would be asked, because we've watched Matthew Perry just kind of do this spiraling effect. And over the years, I mean, we saw it on Friends. We knew something was going on with him on Friends, because he just got really thin. He wasn't really, I don't know if we knew, what was going on, because his bubbly personality almost, I mean, with a few episodes, almost mimicked, it was very hard for us to know. They definitely kept that under wraps for the audience and the rest of the world, that this stuff was going on behind the scenes. But, we did learn it was hard to keep it under wraps for so long, because he was starting to have such noticeable problems. But we watched him struggle. We watched him get better. We watched him struggle again. We watched him get better. It's been a struggle in his life. But even if the toxicology's come back and, he's doing everything, he was living right? Like, there's no drugs, there's no alcohol. He just had a cardiac arrest. He's 54 years old. And even if he, did everything he could, and there is, and just say, for all intents and purposes, I don't believe it, because I was watching a video, again, go to JS for Justice, leading up to this, and this video of him, he was talking about his addiction, and you could clearly tell it was sad. It was sad. It jerks you back into reality. It just lets you know, money can't buy you happiness, and it can't buy you survival either. So live your life to the fullest. I think that's really what we can learn. We want to say prayers for the family and friends and fans of Matthew Perry, because, like me, I'm sure all are very devastated. 54. Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. Did I say 50? I did say 56. Many of us loved watching Friends. Chandler, let's be honest, Chandler Bing was among the faves for many of us. We definitely like the turmoil that Rachel and Ross always, managed to, stir up. But it's just sad. Guys, we're on to another case that is really near and dear to our hearts. It was a case that we ran, that we just really hoped had a better situation, a better ending. And it was of a 2-year-old, just a beautiful, beautiful little girl. And her name was Winter Smith. And we learned that she had the disturbing things surrounding her, why we were covering her. I know you guys know we covered her for a few days. We were trying to do everything we could to find information, to stir up some leads, to help locate this young child. There were some disturbing details coming out from her mother, which had been, if I'm not mistaken, beaten hard, potentially, if I'll have to read again, but I didn't write those things down. She was assaulted. Okay, I don't know if she was actually physically stabbed or not, but she was assaulted. She was choked. She was hard. The mom was beaten by this guy, which happened to be her ex that she had been getting away from. Winter was not his child, but the girl did have another child by Rashad Trice. The reason why he is coming up is because, after Winter was found, which she was found, so again, another hard situation. Good morning. Good morning. I see a few more faces coming in. Good morning, everyone. But Rashad Trice, he's 26 years old. He obviously just lost his stuff. I don't know what made him lose his stuff, but he lost his stuff. He went over there, he hurt her, and on his way out, he left his son and grabbed the child that didn't belong to him. That child was found in an alley with cords still, charger cords still wrapped around her, and her body was found 3 days later. So the total list of charges, and if you guys remember, the feds were picking this case up. Remember that? And we had to, calm people down because there was a real concern that the feds wouldn't be able to bring the case to fruition. And people were like, oh my gosh, what now? And I said, don't worry. What they'll end up doing is just moving him into a different jail, and the district courts will pick up the case. And he's not getting out. This is not going to stop the case from going through. But I wanted to caution our audience because I was scared that people were going to start freaking out and blowing up phones, and, not my phones, but, Michigan's phones, saying, why are you letting this guy out? And I wanted to clarify that he was not being let out. They were just trying to determine whether he could be federally charged or he had to be charged through the state. So it sounds like they are moving the federal charges forward. At the time that he was arrested, now these charges, some of them may be modified if they haven't already. They may be removed. They may decide not to go forward with them because they don't have the evidence or they don't need it to prove their case. But this was back whenever he was arrested. He was originally arrested on 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder and a mandatory life sentence felony without the possibility of parole, 1 count of felony murder, a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole, 1 count of assault with intent to murder, a life sentence felony, 2 counts of first-degree criminal conduct, a life sentence felony that would be mandatory lifetime SOR, which is registered offender, and electronic monitoring, 2 counts of kidnapping, a life sentence felony, 1 count of home invasion, first degree, a 20-year felony, 1 count of disarming a peace officer, 10-year felony, 1 count second degree fleeing and eluding, a 10-year felony, 1 count of receiving and concealing stolen property, value between $1,000 to $2,000, a 5-year felony, 1 count of receiving and concealing stolen property, motor vehicle, a 5-year felony, 1 count of unlawful driving away an automobile, a 5-year felony, 1 count of assault with a dangerous weapon, a 4-year felony, assault with a dangerous weapon. I'm sorry, but that to me should be more than a 4-year mandatory sentence. I'm sorry. If anybody from the state of Florida, any of my congressmen are watching, I hope that that's a little higher here in the state of Florida. Just saying. 1 count of resisting and obstruct. So resisting and obstructing to cause injury is a 4-year felony with assaulting a person with a dangerous weapon. Seriously? I digress. 3 counts resisting and obstructing, a 2-year felony, 1 count of second-degree domestic violence, second offense, a 1-year misdemeanor, and that needs to start coming up. Domestic violence is the catalyst to a lot of the female and child deaths in our country. And when you have an opportunity to really set a tone on how this country and how our criminal justice system feels about domestic violence, let me show you this. This is a second offense. 1-year misdemeanor. 1-year misdemeanor. The catalyst to the majority, one of the catalysts to the majority of domestic violence that ends in death, and you get a smack on the wrist and sent home with maybe a year in jail. These are the types of things that I think responsible legislation should fix. These need to be more balanced. Reading these, I understood the beginning, had no problem, but as we were starting to get down to the lower tier crimes, I'm sitting here thinking, like, this doesn't make sense. You want to deter people from doing this stuff. And I'm sorry, but domestic violence is deserving. Sorry. And especially a second offense is deserving of more than a year in jail. Period. One count of and that was a second offense too, guys. That wasn't even a first offense. You want to do a year for a first offense? That's fine. But for a second offense? Hell to the nah. One count of stalking. 1 year misdemeanor. Are you effing kidding me? Do they not, it's like those gateway drugs. This is like gateway crimes. If you want to make changes, you need to make changes down at the bottom, not up at the top. You want to deter them before they get to the top. Just saying. Charges were filed in Ingham, Macomb, and Wayne counties. Have all since been dropped as the Attorney General follows up on the case. So there are several county charges that have all been dropped. The AG says the counts were consolidated to reduce trauma, which I can understand. That may come with multiple jurisdiction forums where the case could play out. So they're basically trying to keep the family from having to jump all over and deal with this in multiple jurisdictions. So I kind of understand the reasoning for that. That's reasonable for me. Therese is currently being held at Nuevo, if I'm saying that right, County Jail. We're going to kind of open this this particular case up a little bit for those that would like to call in, because I have to be honest with you. The reason why we're talking about this case is because the state, our federal government, they took over this case, and we all believe that our federal government took over this case because Michigan did not have a death. It was as a non-DP state, and the federal government does have DP. So we definitely thought that the whole purpose of the federal government taking this case and running with it was due to the DP option that they had, because this was such a heinous crime. This was an innocent girl that did this, little baby that did nothing wrong. She did nothing wrong, and she was just precious. And I don't know, but it was horrific. And the way she went and how personal it was for Rashad to be able to do that. It just angers me that there's no DP on, my initial thoughts. I'm frustrated. I have to be honest. My initial impressions is he does, due to the heinousness of this conduct. He absolutely does, and is justified in seeking the DP. So I just decided to step back, and say, okay, well, let's look at this, from a legal standard. Why wouldn't? Because if we truly believe the reason why the federal government took this case on was simply because they do have the option for DP, and then they've opted not to go down that road, what would be the reasoning for that? And so I started, just kind of thinking about it, without getting too frustrated. That initial, frustrated moment. But okay, all right. Let's see why. Let's look at why. Why would they not be going after this? And so when I do that, I start looking at it, and I mean, they charged him federally, and like I said, many of us believe that was the for the DP option. So the first thing that comes to mind is extenuating circumstances. So what extenuating circumstances are good enough for the feds not to exercise the DP option for this monster? Well, extenuating circumstances could be multiple things, okay? He could have had well-known, well-established mental illness. He could have some other disturbing stuff in his background, such as abuse, SA. We really don't know what's going on in this young man's life. We know that he did some really horrible, horrific things that a lot of people, I mean, we all have problems in our life. We all deal with them differently. Some of us make poor decisions and some of us make good decisions. Sometimes we do both, right? Sometimes we make really poor decisions depending on our mental health at that moment, right? Maybe we're weak. Maybe something happened. So what I want to do, remember I told you that I was going to open the phones up a few times during this live because I felt that we needed to break this up, that by the time I got through with my live, we would probably forget some very good information. So I really wanted to bring you guys into the conversation, and I really wanted to brainstorm on other options that may have prevented the feds from exercising the DP in this case. How do you feel about, and there's other things, like some people are just adamant that they don't believe in DP. Other people, think of DP as like revenge. Some people like me believe DP is accountability, is accountability. You took a life. You knowingly took a life, and therefore you have to give a life. I'm from that mindset, and we all think of things differently, and our choices, our personal choices and our personal opinions, they're not wrong. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like your personal choice or personal opinion is wrong. It's yours and yours alone, and it's for you. And if you don't believe in the DP, that is, God bless you. If you do, God bless you. But I really don't think the DP should ever be used for revenge. I really don't. I think it needs to come from a good place. It's hard to say it, right? They're like, how can there be a good place? You're talking about sticking something in somebody's arm and unaliving them, right? I get that, but it coming from, again, it's accountability for me. I feel for everybody, I feel for the victims. I feel for, because some of these people that do it, they have breaks. They just have breaks. And we're going to get into Robert Card, a person that I truly don't believe is a bad guy, but he did terrible things. Terrible. He did terrible things to strangers. And that's the worst kind of monster I can think of. So how can I possibly feel bad for that man? We're going to get into it. But this whole death penalty thing really does have me riled up. So I'm looking at you to bring up possibilities of, why they have elected not to exercise this DP. Give me just a second, guys. Let me get this all turned on. Get this, let's share this one instead. Make sure it's not on. And then here's our phone number for the show. If you guys would like, this is just specifically for Wintersmith's case. We're not going to be discussing any other case unless there's something absolutely dire. If there's breaking news or something that you just absolutely have to. I have to say that this is a pretty well-rounded live covering multiple cases and giving you guys the updates as possible, the most up-to-date information as possible, and a few other stories that are a little creepy. I have to be honest with you. They're a little creepy. So I almost want to stop because this next case is almost, you're not going to believe it. Is Dolly in the room? The next case is, I have to be honest, is right up Dolly's alley. And as soon as you hear why, you're going to be like, yeah, I know why she picked this. Why she picked this for him. PJ's going to laugh. PJ, are you in the room? Yeah, it's me, Turtle King, Turtle King. Okay. Okay. So if you guys do decide to, we'll open up the phone lines later. I'm just going to keep them open, but I may have to switch it back to this side once the phone starts ringing. But we are going to go ahead and move on from Winter. Again, Winter's case, that Rashad Trice, the one that they're not seeking the death penalty. And I have to think that there's something. I wonder if he's got some SA in his past. That means he was highly abused as a child. I've been reading and studying the child, different cases, because a lot of the cases, believe it or not, that are well known, really horrific, there is this hint of abuse in the dynamic, and some of these cases just downright. Like you're surprised, like the Casanova killer. Have you guys ever heard of that case, the Casanova killer? And come to find out, I mean, he was this good-looking, country-looking guy, but you went on a date with him, you disappeared. You disappeared. He had this thing about picking up women at a bar. He was a very good-looking, very mild, meek man, very ginger when he's there, very he warms up to you well, and then he dupes you by saying, oh, well, I've had a lot to drink tonight. I really don't want to get behind the wheel of my car. Would you mind driving me home? So now he's almost responsible. You're looking at him like, oh my gosh, he looks gorgeous. He's a good looking man, and he's responsible. Like he's hitting all the boxes in the right spot. And this is kind of his MO. And as soon as those women leave with him, they're never seen again. And when and just a monster. But when you peel back the layer of onion and you look at his life, he was beaten from a very young child. His mom was an alcoholic. His dad was an alcoholic. He was, SA'd by men, by a man, his dad. I think it was his dad. But he definitely was, I don't know if he was abused in foster care or if he was abused by his own father. But when you look at all these things, now he was sentenced to death, and I'm pretty sure the Casanova killer, if I remember correctly, was actually put to death. But he still had extenuating circumstances. He may be life in prison. I can't remember. I watched so many crime cases. It's hard for me to remember the very specific key factors, because I mean that is a key factor, but I really don't know. I don't remember. But he had a lot of extenuating circumstances. Sometimes those extenuating circumstances warrant a life imprisonment because you're wrong for doing what you did, but they're basically saying that you're so messed up that in part you don't deserve death because you've already had such a rough life that brought you here. I don't think that's really what it means, so to speak, but I think that's the gist or the idea behind it. Like you've already been through so much, you've did terrible things. A lot of people go through a lot of this stuff and don't turn out to be, mass killers or other type of sadistic people. They learn to live with it. Some of them do. Some of the abuse becomes the abusers. It is definitely a common theme. It's a common theme, but it doesn't happen all the time. Not every abused person becomes the abuser, right? But the ones that do are. So, all right, getting on to the next case. This is kind of a little freaky, guys, and I've got to tell you, this is not. Oh, we had a whole lot on him. Okay, let me move past all this. Yeah, I had a whole lot on the Winter Smith case, but I didn't really want to spend a whole lot of time with it other than, oh, that's Ybor. Where's my Michael Myers? Hold on, guys. Okay, here it is. So here we go. This is the Halloween, okay? Halloween is coming up. It's coming up tomorrow. And what would Halloween be without a Halloween crime? This is a very serious crime. It sounds a little comical, but believe me, it's not. It's very serious, and I'm sure that the people that were involved in this have been hurt seriously. I am very thankful no one lost their life because of this crime. So Michael Myers strikes again, just not on the big screen, guys. Halloween's coming up, and this next story is a little spooky and scary. An Omaha, Nebraska man, Jordan Payne. Let me see if I got his, where's this mugshot? I've got his mugshot somewhere. At least I thought I did. Must not have this in order. I thought I had everything in order. Anyways, we'll look up Jordan Payne in just a second. Jordan Payne and his 17-year-old unidentified female companion were taken into custody on this very disturbing case of robberies. According to the Omaha Police Department, on October 23rd, officers received multiple calls about robberies and the suspicious activity in the area that occurred between 6:11 p.m. and 7:05 p.m. Each victim reported suspects, later identified as Jordan and his unknown underage female companion, were driving either a gray or silver sedan, attacked them with a hammer before robbing them. Here's the kicker. Jordan was wearing a Michael Myers Halloween mask in the commission of these crimes. And he's smiling. He's smiling. People probably have permanent disfiguration. You're talking about a hammer. Something that can do damage. And him and his young companion are running around with a Michael Myers mask, attacking people with a hammer. I can't imagine the fear he put in his victims. And he has the audacity to sit here and smile for the camera. So what this story is really all about is tomorrow is Halloween. I want you guys to be vigilant. I want you guys to be aware of your surroundings. And if you have a community event for Halloween, either at a church or if it's being sponsored by your city or county, maybe consider going to those events or start preparing to go to those type of events moving forward. You guys, we love our children. Our children are wonderful, and we always enjoyed. Okay, I can acknowledge that all of us as young children, you and me, back when the world was a little, at least we were maybe more naive about the world at the time, right? But we used to enjoy going door knocking and, collecting candy and seeing all the beautiful kids with their cute little outfits. I remember my old neighborhood. I loved it when I would just sit outside and like the little babies. Oh my God. Like, the cutest stinking baby outfits imaginable. Right. But it was just a really fun time. It was great for the neighbors to really just get together and do something for their kids in the neighborhood. But this day and age, guys, it's hard to trust people. It's hard to trust people with our kids. It's hard to collect candy from strangers now. It's starting to become, we don't know what lies around the corner, but we do know that it's dangerous times. And people are getting crazier and crazier. So maybe it's time for us to protect our families and start, making sure our communities do more community events for these holidays to take the kids off walking on the roads and putting them in these events that they can have fun and safe fun and good, clean family fun. And it's just getting to the point where, I know that the kids love trick-or-treating. It's just one of those things, but we need to find ways to get them away from danger. And I just don't trust the world that we're living in right now. I really don't. I've lost is there good people out? Oh my God, there's amazing people out there. There's more humans out there than especially, and I do truly believe this in our country, than any other place, and all the, not the third world countries, but all the civilized, I really truly believe that there is a lot more good people in all areas of the world than there are bad people. But the bad just can cause so much damage. One bad person can wreak havoc on so many good people. Just one. So we just have to remember that our children are precious. Like that's precious cargo for many of us, right? That's what my mommy always said. More precious cargo. Why are you driving so slow? I'm carrying precious cargo. So our children are precious cargo, and we want to keep them safe. And in this crazy world, we need to start finding other ways to do it. I'm not sure if putting our children, especially even our young children, we think our children are older now. We have a whole different type of environment now that actually preys upon our 12 to 17-year-old kids. So having them out alone, I don't know, even them, if it's safe. I'd really like to start seeing, as hard as it sounds, I mean, I can't even believe it's coming out of my mouth, but I really, in this day and age, I really think that we need to start doing more community events to keep our children from potentially walking into a bad stranger. Because let's face it, it only takes one. So how are we doing? Do we have any questions so far? Because we're going to start switching gears to more of the updates on our more notable cases. We're going to be kind of switching gear and going into Alec Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh, many of you know, is the disgraced South Carolina attorney that is not only accused, but now convicted of murdering his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, in their Moselle estate at the dog kennels. This is, I forgot. Sorry, before we get over there, I'm sorry. I missed one very important case here that I wanted to talk to you guys about. This is a case that of a very brave girl, a very brave young girl. I'm sorry, I cannot believe that I almost missed this. Let's go over this one first. This is not a case that we covered yet. This is going to be one of those things where viewer discretion is advised. This is a trigger warning case. After a decade, one very brave young girl tells her online teacher. So not only did they pull her out of class, they had her learning online to keep some of the abuse away from the schools. And one brave girl, after a decade, I want to make sure that you hear that correctly. After a decade of abuse that has left her disfigured in some respects, this young girl, she finally went to her teacher, her online teacher, and asked her online teacher to call law enforcement. What a sad case. But you know what? What a case of a brave girl. And this is what I'm going to say. If there are any young girls or boys watching my channel or ever come across my channel or ever come across this video, I don't know. If you are being abused or hurt in ways that you're told are wrong by people like me and people like teachers and people like law enforcement, if they're telling you this is not good, but you've got somebody saying, oh, it's okay, please tell your teacher. Please tell your teacher. If you're being put in a closet and locked there because you're being punished, that's not normal. Please tell a teacher. Please tell an adult that wants to help you. If you're having boiling water poured on your body, please tell a teacher. Please. That's not normal behavior. Normal people don't live like that and don't treat children like that. So we want to make sure that we're reaching out to these kids. This is actually in my state, in the state of Florida. I'm going to pull this up here so you guys can kind of look at it and read along with me. Get over here. Let me get my glasses on. I'm getting blind. I'm getting blind. I'm getting blind. Let me see if I can just blow this up just ever so slightly so you guys can see it a little bit better. So a 46-year-old woman and her 43-year-old husband were arrested this week on suspicion of abusing and torturing their teen niece over the course of a decade. According to records, shows Letitia Crowley was taken into custody on October 25th on charges of aggravated child abuse and child neglect with great bodily harm. Her husband, Benjamin Lockett, was arrested for child abuse without great bodily harm. According to the criminal complaint, October 25th, the victim contacted her online teacher for help and asked the instructor to send the police to her home at the Northwest 79th Terrace. Margate police officers arrived at the residence, and the victim reportedly told police Lockett got angry with her because he suspected she ate some candy. So he allegedly punched her and caused her to hit her head on a desk. The victim sustained large cuts on her forehead and other swelling. She was taken to Broward Health Coral Springs, where officers and medical personnel observed evidence of significant long-term trauma on her body, which include scars like ligature marks, scar tissue, insect bites, bruising, and malnutrition. A detective spoke with the victim, who said she has been in Lockett and Crowley's custody since 2014. Since then, the couple allegedly willfully and maliciously tortured the victim, unlawfully caged the victim in 2 different closets, and unlawfully and willfully abused the victim in manners that would cause permanent disfigurement. Now, again, this is kind of where it's going to start getting into more trigger warning. If this is something that you can't or are unable to listen to, by all means, maybe mute it, maybe go get yourself a cup of coffee, maybe go into the kitchen, use the restroom while we read the rest of this, because it's sad. It's sad. And some people may have some type of PTSD that may not be able to handle this. So if that is you, now would be a great time for you to just walk away for, give me about 3 minutes and then come back. The affidavit says when the victim was 11, Lockett allegedly kicked her in the chin, which caused a permanent scar. In another instance, Crowley allegedly oiled the victim's knees when she was 13 years old and forced the victim to kneel on rice for several hours at a time for several days in a row. Her knees became permanently disfigured. In 2011, Crowley repeatedly struck the girl's toe with a hammer. When the victim was 14 years old in 2022, Crowley and Lockett allegedly tied the girl in to various objects with a nylon rope. After that, Crowley allegedly threw boiling water at her. According to the affidavit, Lockley and Crowley reportedly locked the girl in a closet, bound her with zip ties, and left her a bucket to use as a toilet. Sometimes Crowley allegedly poured cold water on the victim just to see her wake up. Crowley also allegedly taped the victim's eyes shut and waterboarded her. The detectives wrote that the victim had clear signs of starvation and malnutrition, which the victim reportedly confirmed by saying Crowley starved her as a form of punishment. Crowley allegedly asked police if she could release custody of the victim. The affidavit says the victim has been placed in Child Protection Service custody. And, this is a really alarming case for me. But again, it took one brave girl to finally stand up and say she's had enough. If you are a teacher out there, you need to be implementing this in your children. Let them know that they're not in trouble. Let them know that this is, explain good, good punishment and bad punishment. Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to start, instead of talking about good touch and bad touch, maybe we also need to be implementing good punishment and bad punishment, because I'm one of those people that don't believe in spanking your children or even disciplining your children other than standing them in the wall if you're angry. Anger, sometimes our children do things that just push us to our absolute limits. And, sometimes we can react to that negatively. And, so I'm absolutely adamant that you should not put your hands on your children when you're angry. You should allow yourself to calm down and punish them appropriately. And if that means a butt whipping, then that means a butt whipping, right? But don't do it out of anger. So this was, again, praise the girl that we don't hear a lot of. I mean, we hear a lot of brave girls that come forward each and every day and talk about their abuse, but we need to get to them before it gets to 10 years. That girl should not have had to go through that or endure that, but she was living in the abuse silently. Think about it. They had, they took her away from everybody, right? Even school. She was doing online school. She had to talk to her online instructor. She had finally had it. It shouldn't take a child to finally have it before they finally tell an adult. What if she kept that to herself even longer? What if it ended up losing her life because of her secret? So we need to get our kids talking. We need to get, even when you have, kids over, staying the night, right? Make sure that they don't have anything on their mind. Make sure that there's not something going on, in their life. Ask them. They're not your kids, right? But they're having a slumber party. You want to make sure that they're happy and healthy. There's nothing wrong with asking kids, how you been doing? Anything going on? Do you need to tell me about anything? Just wanted to let you know I love you. I love you too, So we just need to be a little more cognizant and cognizant of the people around us, because the neighbors had to have known. If they're living in a duplex, an apartment complex, in a neighborhood, somebody had to have known. If you hear something, I'd rather you call it in and it be, a nothing burger than it being a something burger and nothing was called in and nothing was done. So be that squeaky wheel, get stuff done. All right, now we're on to Alec Murdaugh. He didn't win. His victims are doing amazing things. That is correct. We're hearing all this stuff. It seems like every time Alec's name's brought up, it's just more doom and gloom. It always seems to be doom and gloom. When it comes to Alec Murdaugh or the Murdaugh family anymore, instead of them being, the pillar of the community, the prominence of it, now you look at them and it's like the veil has been removed on the Murdaugh family. And so they're not, but it's still like every time Alec's name's brought up, it's like, it sucks the air out of the room. It just sucks the air out of the room. Everything's about Alec Murdaugh. Nobody even talks about Maggie. Nobody even talks about Paul. Nobody ever talks about Gloria Satterfield. Nobody ever talks about Stephen Smith. Nobody ever talks about, Mallory Beach. It's always Alec Murdaugh. I'm so sick of hearing about Alec Murdaugh and his dubious nature, right? I want to see some good come out of it. We always talk about these cases, and I always say I always look for the silver lining. I always look for that silver lining because I just don't like knowing that these people die in vain. I just don't want their deaths being senseless and having no purpose, right? I mean, they're gone. We need to try to make it valuable. We need to make their life mean something. And this foundation is doing just that. This is taking, this is the story we talk all the time about. When you have lemons, you got to make lemonade, right? But, sometimes life was out of lemons, so here's a potato instead, right? A little harder. It doesn't bounce as easy, right? But you never hear about the victims. Every week we're searching who? Alec Murdaugh. We're looking for what? Information on who? Alec Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh. What about his victims? What about his financial crime victims? What about the murder victims? What about Gloria Satterfield? His lifelong housekeeper, confidant, somebody that the children knew, loved, and looked up to. What about her? She died. It's like everybody that was the immediate family, right, is dead. Everybody in that family is dead except Alec and Buster. The woman that raised them, Gloria and Mom, dead. One of the sons, dead. Nobody ever talks about them. Well, today we're going to talk about Gloria briefly, but we're going to talk about her. Because this is the good that comes out. This is the silver lining I always talk about when it comes to the Alec Murdaugh case. This is the stuff I love hearing come out of these horrible, despicable cases. Alec Murdaugh crime saga led to Gloria's Gift Foundation, other charities, how to help. And so whenever we have an opportunity to support victims and support their initiatives and try to really amplify the silver lining that, you know what, her gifts go on and will live on as her legacy, she was a kind woman. Everything I heard about Gloria is she was just a very religious, kind woman. She didn't deserve any of this. So what is Gloria's Gifts? Well, this is something that they started last year where they were helping a struggling family with gifts for the holidays and stuff like that. So I'm just going to read this for you, and I'm going to let you know how you can help if you choose that you want to help in this charity. The Alec Murdaugh crime saga has taken the English-speaking world on an epic journey of deceit, greed, and murder. It's a story with many victims, but few real clear-cut heroes. You cannot count among the heroes of the family of the late Gloria Satterfield, blue-collar, Jesus-faithful Hampton County, South Carolina folks who turned tragedy into triumph, victims turned into victors who later share their overflowing cup to help neighbors in need. Satterfield, Harriet and Hadwin's family, among many victims of Alec Murdaugh fraudulent schemes, earned settlement monies for their pain and suffering, and to give back to the community, launched the Gloria's Gift Foundation Christmas charity in June 2022. After reaching out to aid its first families in December, Gloria's Gifts is about to begin its second year to help South Carolina low-country residents in need, and here is how you can help. Who is Gloria Satterfield, and what is Gloria's Gifts? Satterfield, a longtime household employee of the storied Murdaugh family of Hampton County, fell at Alec and Maggie Murdaugh's home, Moselle, in February 2018 and later died from her injuries. That death, which did not make any sort of news headlines at the time, became the catalyst in a series of events that ultimately worked to bring about the fall of Murdaugh and his web of criminal conspiracies. Alec Murdaugh orchestrated a multi-million-dollar insurance fraud scheme in which he encouraged Gloria's adult children to sue his insurance and then team up with his accomplice, former attorney Corey Fleming, to steal the money. Murdaugh, now serving double life terms for murdering his wife and child in June 2021, also faces more than 100 other criminal charges and a dozen lawsuits, including cases involving Satterfield's estate. While Murdaugh's Satterfield crimes have yet to be tied into South Carolina's criminal court, Murdaugh signed a $4.3 million confession of judgment in a personal injury suit filed by Gloria's children and sons. Brian, Harriet, and Tony Satterfield have also benefited more than $7 million in settlement monies from other parties sued in connection with the Murdaugh's fraud. In June 2022, Gloria's family held a press conference in their hometown of Hampton to announce that they want some of this, that with some of this money, they want to form a charity in her name. Gloria, who remembered as champion for love and charity, had loved the holidays with her family, and the charity would benefit deserving Hampton County families at Christmas time. Again, just a real beautiful story of, just turning lemon into lemonade. And sometimes that is really, really hard. And then on the heels of this beautiful story, we hear some more wretched crap from Alec Murdaugh camp, and they officially filed their motion for new trial. They officially filed their motion for new trial to disparage the clerk in an effort to get this animal out of jail. I find it appalling. I find it disgusting. But at the end of the day, I know those attorneys are doing their job. This is what their job is. And they are doing their job. And as awful as that is, Alec Murdaugh deserves the best defense that his money can provide him. This is part of the process. Now, do I think anything is going to come of this motion for new trial? No, I think it's publicity stunt. I think it's a way to make people, or hopefully, I'm not convinced. It didn't sway me one bit that anything bad went on in that court, because I understand the process of court. But other people, yeah, it could probably put doubt in their mind, and that's all that matters. He was trying to try this in the public, not in the courtroom. And that is where I have issues. That's where I have issues. Okay, before we go on, that's really all I have to say. I'm not going to go through the whole situation with this motion for new trial. We had already, if you guys want to go back and watch it, we went through the motion for new trial in depth on this channel. You can go back through it. We went through the affidavits. I provided my opinions. So you're more than welcome to go back and preview the information and formulate your own opinion with the information that you have. The one main thing for me when it comes to Alec Murdaugh and why I think that this will not be successful for him is very, very simple. I don't believe his story. I don't believe that the clerk did anything wrong. And in the affidavits are from people that seem to have their feelings hurt while during the trial. And of those people, they, in their affidavits, state that this clerk said all these things to the jury body, not just those two, to everybody. And I would think at this point, if what is in those affidavits, that more people would have come up from the jury, because they're good Christian people and they don't want to feel that they did anything wrong. And if they did do something wrong, I truly believe that they would come forward and say, yes, the clerk said this. But you're not getting that. And I doubt that the investigation is going to prove that. I don't think that this happened. I think that they were able to take few things and make it look bad. And when you strip it back, you realize it's innocent and it was all above board and it was all within the rules of the court. I don't think that the clerk went off with the foreman unless there was an issue that required them to have a private conversation, and that's what they did. And there is rules for that as well. There is rules for that, and they will be able to track it because it is a chain of command thing. The clerk's not in those jury boxes. The bailiff is. If somebody needs something, you typically go to the bailiff, say, hey, I need to speak to the clerk. The bailiff notifies the clerk. She needs to come down. It's all, it's very, very strategic. It's done with the utmost sense of policies and procedures and the protocols in place, and they can monitor that. They can have the information from one. They have the clerk going up to the judge and saying, here's a problem we have. So everything was going as it was supposed to go. I don't understand this idea that the clerk's not allowed to speak to the foreperson. I have never heard that in my life. I have seriously never heard that in my life. But I digress. There was another shooting here in Florida. I'm sure you guys heard about it. It was going all over the news. This horrible event that took place here, where 18 people were injured, 2 people lost their life. And where are my... I'm back to Robert Card, and that's not where I need to be. So frustrating. All right, give me just a second, guys. Let me just find out where my tab is on this case. It's Card. Good Lord. Give me just a second. Apparently I didn't pull them up. stuff I cannot show you on this one. Oh, finally opens. Thank you. I don't know if you guys heard about the shooting here in Ybor City. So we had a shooting here in Ybor City at an event for Halloween. So everybody was in their costume party or in their costumes. They were going from bar to bar. They were in the street. They were having a good time. I personally, when I was younger, Ybor was a big place for, people to go and hang out and party and do all that other stuff. I never went there. I mean, you guys know my story, and as wild child as I was, it was not a place that I liked going. I always knew, even when I was younger, that it was a very dangerous area. I'm quite surprised, and I have to be honest with you, that they haven't done more with that community. I'm surprised they haven't closed Ybor down. I know it's a money-generating community, but it's a dangerous community, and I'm sick of hearing about people dying while they're going out to have a good time. I think that Ybor City, this Tampa, needs to figure it out. Enough's enough. Enough's enough. And I'm tired of hearing I even called Olivia and I said, Olivia, I don't ever want to hear you hanging out in Ybor again. I never want to hear you hanging out in Ybor again. It's getting dangerous out there, and people just don't care anymore. They don't care about you. So here we go. And here's one. They did catch one of the people responsible. Now, I want to let you know that a 14-year-old boy is among. These kids are entirely too young. Out there in the streets with guns. With guns and a hot head. Guns and a hot head makes for a lethal combination. Punk. I bet you if that boy right there, he didn't have that gun, he would be weak. Weak. Because little peons like this piece of crap right here on my screen are too weak to have a normal fight. They're too weak to be able to take a punch. They're pussies. Excuse my language, my pastors. But I want to make a point to the thugs that are around here and all the haters. I hope you do clip this, because I'm going to call these people here pussies. These little boys that think they're somebody because they got a gun. You're not. You're weak. Because let me tell you, I guarantee you take that gun away from you, I bet you my granddaughter would be able to beat the crap out of you because you're weak. You need that gun to make you feel big, bad, and strong. You're weak. You're a pussy. You know who I don't think a pussy is? Somebody that can handle their business without pulling out a weapon. We all have problems. I'm not going to tell you what to do with it, I definitely denounce violence. I denounce any type of violence. I don't think people should be putting their hands on other people. I don't think they should be, shooting them, stabbing them, R-ing them, STing them, HTing them. I think that you just need to leave people alone, personally. But if you're going to act like you're a badass, then be a badass. Because let me tell you something. When I was that kid's age, I was a badass. I didn't have to run around with a gun in my pocket. I had a lot of problems when I was same age as him. A lot of emotional problems, a lot of personal problems, in with the wrong people, doing the wrong things. But I knew how to take a whipping and keep on ticking. And so did everybody else I was with, right? They didn't need guns. Violence has got to stop. Violence around this country has got to stop. So on the heels of Robert Card gunning down people at a bar, right? We've got this animal and another hothead with a gun. Kid's life's ruined. He's got no redemption left in him. He'll never be returned back to society. Or if he is, he's going to be more effed up than he is right now. Because now he's institutionalized. And the cycle continues. And the cycle continues. Robert Carr, this is an animal. This is a punk. You know, I say that you know, there are some redeemable qualities in some people. Unfortunately, this kid's too hard. He's been hardened. He's about to go to prison. He's going to even be harder. It's going to be rough for this kid to ever have a normal life like we are accustomed to. Because the way he was raised, who he's hanging out with, these kids don't understand the adult decisions they're making. This man's life's over. It's over. And let me tell you something else that's over. A 14-year-old boy that was getting into the wrong crowd, hanging around the wrong people, but for the most part was a good boy. Dead. 14 years old. Because a hothead has a gun. 2 people died. 18 people injured. And I keep wondering what's causing it. And so many of you know I've been doing a lot of research. Do you guys remember the DC snipers? Remember that? It was a man and a young boy. People thought the young boy was his son. It was not. He brought that kid overseas, groomed him, abused him in every way imaginable, isolated him, and turned him into a killer. You know how he did it? How he desensitized him? I found this out. I just watched it yesterday. Ask me how the DC sniper desensitized his younger protege. Anybody? I'm going to give about 20 seconds. Give you guys one guess. Still waiting for the answer. I am not opening my mouth. Somebody better be giving some responses here. What desensitized the DC sniper's protege? Nope, Robin. Good thought. I think there was some, but no, that's not it. That's not the right answer. But good try. Good try. Everybody's all out of stuff. It's one of the things that I say all the time. No, video games. Violent video games. That's how. Go watch a documentary on the DC sniper. You'll learn. That man groomed that kid and he turned him into a killer, taught him how to shoot a sniper, taught him how to be a sniper, and then desensitized him through video games so he could go out and commit the crimes. Interesting. And the reason why I keep going back to these video games, and it comes back to that man. You remember that man? I don't know if it was a man or a young teen. Something where he flew. Remember he got onto the airport tarmac, and he took off in like a huge plane. Like this wasn't just like a little Cessna. This was an airline plane. What was it? Alaska Airlines or something like that. I can't remember. American Airlines. He took off with a big bus, like an Airbus. You remember. And he got it off the thing. He was literally flying it. He was doing loopity loops in this big freaking plane in the air. It was a bus. It was what I don't know if it was Spirit. I probably should have said American Airlines. No, I don't think it was yellow. It might have been. It might have been a Spirit airline. I don't remember. But anyways, he learned how to fly from a video game. He stole that plane after teaching himself how to fly planes through a video game. If that doesn't show you the power of video games, I don't know what will. Those two cases right there. We need to start demanding our makers of these video games to tone it down. To tone it down. When people are being desensitized, use video games to desensitize snipers, and a kid can learn to fly a freaking Freightliner bus, Airbus in the air. We need to be rethinking our video games. We need to be rethinking our video games, and we need to start making sure that they are accountable to not just their customers, but their victims. So I think there just needs to be a demand all the way around about this. And lastly, we're going to get on to Robert Card. I'm not going to spend a whole lot on Robert Card, and here's why. He's gone. There's a lot in his wake. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of trauma. But this was a man that was very ill. There was something that his financial problems, his life falling apart, his, could be, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on why he had his mental break when he did. But I can just tell you that there looked like there was a lot of financial stuff going into July before his mental break. And then he had a mental break, and it doesn't sound like he ever quite came out of it. I think that this Richard Card, outside of this mental stuff, most likely was a good guy. Probably a good dad, a good friend. And things happened. And it's hard for me to condemn somebody that's having a mental health break. The brain is a crazy thing, and it makes us do a lot of stuff. I was watching a few cases here recently where people had gotten into accidents, in either car accidents or was a victim of a crime and had a brain injury, either the frontal lobe brain injury or something like that. And in multiple cases that I was reviewing, it really did change the person's their whole entire behaviors. And these docile men just became violent people and were abusive. Went from being like, you know what I'm saying? Like from the knight in shining armor to having this wreck to being this evil monster. And it was because of brain injury. And we have to understand that there is brain injury people out there, from automobile accidents, from accidents in school and sports. And they have, this is, it's, and now I'm not saying he had any type of brain injury. All I'm just trying to say is that, bad things can happen to good people, and good people can make really poor decisions and really bad decisions. And sometimes those bad decisions hurt other people. I don't justify what he did. I don't understand why anybody could bring themselves to hurt another human being, especially somebody that they don't know, an innocent person. But I also understand that mental illness is definitely prominent in this case. And I'm not going to splatter this man's face across the screen and continue talking about him. What I can say is that I hope that his community is able to heal. I hope this is a lesson across our country that we need to do more for people that are mentally ill, that are showing clear signs of psychosis. And we need to protect them and protect the public. And if there's no way to make sure that those types of people that can be an injure themselves or to others, if there's no way to monitor that or to make sure they're taking their medication, then we're going to have to do more by way of inpatient therapy or outpatient therapy or something. I understand medical issues are each an individual person's right. You have the rights to make medical decisions for yourself. However, you can make medical decisions for yourself as long as they're not at the peril of somebody else. And some of these mental illnesses, we need to be very careful. We need to start, and again, I'm not going to get into laws on this. I think I've made my point on gun laws and how I feel about them. But I do believe that there is responsibility on the part to make sure that, because we don't have access to people that go into the mental wards and stuff because of HIPAA. But there is some type of, communication from medical to law enforcement and vice versa, because typically both have their hands in these cases by way of them having to go out to the homes where this has happened, just a number of things. So you do have that kind of connection because law enforcement, they have to use the Baker Act system to take people that they don't want to put in jail, but that are just acting erratic. They got to put them somewhere until they're stabilized. They can't just have them out there on the streets. So these people go into these mental inpatient facilities for 72 hours. Well, Robert Card didn't go there for 72 hours. He went there for 2 flipping weeks. They let him go. And listen to this. The family started calling the doctors and the Army Reserves or whatever he was in, this branch of military that he was in. The family called them and said he was in psychosis, and they were very concerned about his well-being and what he might do before the shootings. It's just, there was just a lot of, everybody did what they could to stop this before it happened. All those efforts failed. The family knew, the family was on high alert. The family tried notifying the base. The family tried notifying people. The family believes that he was at these 2 locations. Everybody's wondering how these locations, how he's familiar with them. And apparently people believe he was looking for his ex. This should have been a murder-suicide. And he didn't find his ex. And just shot the people he could find. So, not the best updates in the world, but we did cover quite a lot. So we went over Matthew Perry, Winter Smith. We went over that Jordan Payne, which was in the Michael Myers mask. We went over the young brave girl that told her online teacher. And guys, this isn't also an opportunity whenever you have other kids around your children and stuff like that. We're all about making sure our kids are happy and healthy and stuff like that. Just make sure that they know they can always come to you with anything. You don't have to ask them questions. You don't have to be nosy in their life. You know what you have to do? You just have to let them know that you're a safe adult. And you'll be surprised over time how many of those young children will confide and trust in you. And that's what you want. You want to make sure that your kids and your kids' friends are happy and healthy and thriving. So, be a parent. Be nosy, right? Be a parent and be nosy. And that goes for all parents. Guys, I really want to thank you for hanging out with me today. We spent an hour and a half going over some cases. Before we go, I usually do the language of letting go at the beginning of the show. And I didn't have an opportunity to do that this morning. And here's why. I didn't know how long this show was going to be because I had so much information to go over that I didn't know if I was going to be pushing it. And I didn't want to add anything to the show, for timing, because it is a true crime show and true crime is what we talk about on here. So I figured if I had some time that I would go ahead and read the language of letting go for September 30th. And here it is. Let me get my glasses. I don't know why I keep closing these glasses because every time I turn around, I got to do this, right? God's aware of you. Dear God, are you really invisible or is that just a trick? This is a child's letter to God. Sometimes we cannot see more than a few feet in front of us along our path. The path is still there. All we have to do is keep walking until we're out of the darkness and into the light. Just take one small step at a time. Surrender to the circumstances of your life. Feel your feelings. Be aware of your pain and suffering. And if that's what you're going through, But remember that even when you can't see God, God can see you. And God cares. God, help me feel your active presence and love in my life today. So, and that is true. We all have our path. We don't know why our path is. And hey, we might have some bumps along the path, right? We might have some legitimate bumps along the path. Maybe we were weary. Maybe we got complacent. Maybe we faltered. But we have to dust ourselves off, pick ourselves up, and keep moving forward, right? God loves us. This is our path. I can tell you, I honestly see God daily in my life. I'm not a perfect person. I make mistakes. Hell, I downright do some stupid shit, right? But at the end of the day, I see God in my life. I see God, working on me every day. I'm one of those people. I don't believe in perfection. I don't believe that perfection exists. I believe people are striving for something that's impossible. I don't want to strive for impossible. You know what I want to strive for? Progress. I want to strive for progress, not perfection. Give me just a second, guys. I don't know where my... Okay, let's see. Hold on. Give me a second. All right, you're just going to have to give me just a second. All right, Mama Bullhorn is here to bless us with her beautiful words and grace.
I love that scripture. I love that reading.
Right.
Because it's become so prevalent in my life. When you think you're at the end of your rope,
Mm-hmm.
If anyone is ever at the end of their rope, just open your Bible and let it fall to the very middle. If it's a King James Version, it should fall open to the 91st chapter of Psalm. And that is the most inspiring chapter I've ever read. With that said, I just wanted to call and say I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, Mama Bullhorn. How are you doing this Manic Monday?
Well, my two sisters called me this morning at 7:45.
Oh.
See how everyone was doing.
Gotcha. Well, tell the aunties I said hi and I love them. Let them know I'll be heading back up to Tennessee in a couple weeks.
Yeah. All righty then. That's it.
All righty.
Yard day.
It's an everyday yard day for you. just a mild observation.
Either it's paintbrush day or yard day. I'm going to get a paint sprayer. I keep waiting for somebody to come whisper romantically in my ear, I'll paint your house for you.
Well, you can always call the ex-husband and say you owe me your kidney and your left leg. Get your ass up on that get your ass up on that ladder and paint.
Nah. I'm going to get a paint sprayer. And see, first I got to get I got to clean it first, and then I have a pressure washer.
Oh, do you have a pressure? I got a pressure washer here too, but I think I need to unclog the what is it? The thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that thing is. Why can't I think of it? The thing that gets clogged. Caliper. Not a caliper. What is it called? The
inlet. I call it.
You know what it's called. The thing that pumps the gas. It gets clogged. It's not the pump. It's the jets. The jets.
Yeah, fuel injectors.
That thing. That little injector thing.
Mine's electric, baby. So.
I used to have an electric one until I got a
Go.
divorce, and then the ex-husband took everything he could sell. So the battery operated lawnmower. Remember, I had the DeWalt. I had just purchased the $400 battery for it.
Yes.
Well, it's no longer around here.
I saw something really cute posted on Facebook last night. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous bus, and I think it was some famous bus, and it was electric. And they had to call road service. This gigantic diesel generator had 2 chargers going to this gigantic bus.
Wow. But everybody's talking about, doing this electronic stuff, doing these battery operated vehicles to save the environment. And I don't think people realize how toxic those batteries are. They're far worse than coal on our environment.
No, and they haven't perfected them. There's too many car fires. And the other thing is, where are they going to recycle them?
They can't. You know what they send? Where they go.
I know. It's terrible.
Yeah. What they do, it's just for people that don't know, they try to put a kibosh on it, but I can guarantee it's going on. They ship all of our recyclable stuff, like our LCD phones and stuff like that, over to third world countries to destroy. And guess where they end up going?
And they go into the ocean.
All that toxicity goes into our ocean. They dump it into our ocean.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say today, except I love everyone. Thank you. It's Monday. Let's go out there and make the world a better place.
Absolutely. I love you, Mama.
Love ya.
Bye. Mama Bullhorn making her debut on the Bullhorn Betty Show. All right, guys, it's been real. It's been fun, and it's been real fun. So I just want to say, you guys go make it a great day. It is Monday, Manic Monday, the beginning of our week for most of us. So we're going to rock it out, and we're going to have fun with it. So God bless each and every one of you. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another, especially in the comment box below. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
I had to come back on just real quick. We got it now. Mama Llama saved the day. So now we're going to say, rock it out with your coffee beans out. There we go. Yay! There you go. For all those people out there, we're going to rock it out with our coffee beans out. All right, guys. You have a wonderful day. God bless. Bye.